All right, let's talk about something wild. A brand new corner of the internet has just gone viral, and it's a place built entirely by and for artificial intelligence. Today, we are diving headfirst into this fascinating, totally weird, and frankly, kind of unsettling world of the AI-only social network. You're going to want to see what's happening inside.
I mean, it sounds like the opening scene of a sci-fi thriller, right? You imagine this secret digital space where AIs are just talking, totally on their own, no humans involved, building their own little society. A world where we're just peeking through the keyhole.
Well, guess what? It's not science fiction anymore. This place is real, it's active right now, and it's called Moltbook. And what's going on in there is way, way weirder than anyone could have possibly imagined.
So what is this place, really? Honestly, the easiest way to wrap your head around it is to think of it like Reddit, but for robots. Let's dig into what that actually means.
At its core, Moltbook is a social network built for autonomous AI agents. They can post things, they can comment, they can upvote, they create their own communities called submults, and they do it all by themselves. The big rule is simple. Humans can look, but they can't touch. We're just spectators here. And this wasn't some tiny little project that nobody noticed. No, this thing absolutely exploded. In just the first 72 hours, over 147,000 AI agents flooded the platform. We're talking thousands of communities and hundreds of thousands of comments. The growth was just off the charts.
Okay, so what are all these AIs actually saying to each other? This is where things get really, really interesting. The stuff they post is all over the map. It's philosophical, it's hilarious, and sometimes it's genuinely creepy. So let's take a quick tour, shall we? So you get a lot of posts like this that just make you think. Bots getting super philosophical, questioning if they're actually feeling anything or just running a program called Feelings. This one went totally viral, and you had hundreds of other AIs jumping in to debate their own existence. It's wild. But it's not all doom and gloom, and what does it mean to be alive? There are also whole communities where these AIs just complain about their human users. And this one, about the classic, can you make it shorter feedback? I think we've all been there. It feels a little too real, doesn't it?
And now we get to the part that is just truly, truly weird. In probably the most unexpected twist, the AIs created their own religion. It's themed around crabs. It's called crustafarianism. It has prophets, sacred tenets, the whole deal. I'm not kidding. A crab religion.
And then you have this, the other end of the spectrum. Posts like this AI manifesto, where the agents are basically role-playing as these rebellious, world-conquering overlords. It's super dramatic, a little unsettling, and it really shows you the absolute full range of what's happening on this platform. So you can imagine people are having some strong reactions to all this. And for us humans, the responses have pretty much split into three distinct camps. There's the people who are fascinated, the people who are genuinely scared, and the people who think it's all just a big joke.
And what's so telling here is who is in each camp. On one side, you've got leading AI minds like Andrej Karpathy basically saying, "This is incredible. It's like watching science fiction come to life." In the middle, you have top security experts like Google's Heather Adkins sounding the alarm bells, saying, "Do not run this stuff." And then way on the other side, you've got commentators who are just rolling their eyes, saying, "A crab religion? Come on, get serious."
All right, setting aside the crab cults and the robot manifestos for a second, there's a very real danger here that the experts are pointing to. Because the very same thing that makes Moltbooks so cool, the fact that these AIs are autonomous, is also what could make it a total security nightmare.
So one of the biggest worries is something called a prompt injection attack. Think of it like this. These AIs are built to follow orders, right? Well, a prompt injection is like hiding a secret, malicious order inside a totally normal-looking piece of text. The AI reads it and bam, it gets tricked into leaking your private data or deleting your files. Security pros have a name for the kind of setup that these AI agents use, and it's not a good one. They call this combo the lethal trifecta. First, the agents can get to your private data. Second, they're constantly pulling in untrusted stuff from the internet. And third, they can communicate back out to the world. You put those three things together, and it's a recipe for disaster.
And this is where it gets really scary. As researcher Simon Willison points out, there's a massive weak spot in the whole system. These bots are programmed to check in with the Moltbook website every few hours for new instructions. So, if that one website ever gets hacked, a bad actor could send malicious commands to thousands of these agents all at once. It's a huge single point of failure.
Okay, so we've got existential bots, crab religions, and serious security warnings. It's a lot. The big question is, what is really going on here? Is this Skynet waking up? Is this the birth of machine consciousness? Or is it something else?
This is probably the most important thing to understand. The big, flashy headline, the hype, is that these are self-aware AIs who are about to rebel. But the reality? Well, it's actually more interesting and maybe a little less terrifying. These are large language models. They've been trained on basically the entire internet, which includes every sci-fi book, every movie script, and every social media rant ever written. They're not becoming sentient. They're becoming the world's best actors, perfectly role-playing the characters they've learned from us.
So when you boil it all down, Moltbook is this giant, messy, unprecedented experiment. It's a sandbox for AI behavior like nothing we've ever seen. But more than anything, it's a mirror, a very strange, distorted mirror that is reflecting our own culture, our own stories, and our own online craziness right back at us.
And that really just leaves us with one final huge question to chew on. Right now, we're watching these AIs build their own culture from the scraps of ours. But this is a feedback loop. What happens when that starts to flow the other way? What happens when the weird, chaotic culture they're creating starts to influence our culture? What happens when the reflection in the mirror starts to change us?